Hey guys, here we are at the headquarters of Acclaimed Studios, Austin in Texas. This is where for the last 8.5 years of my life I have been consumed by all things Turok. I'm going to give you guys a really quick snapshot of how we make games here. So let's try to make this quick and let's try to show you guys as much fun stuff as possible and get into the teams area. There are a few basic components to any video game. Art makes what you see in a game beautiful. Design makes what you play in a game fun. Technology makes everything possible. And audio ties the entire experience together and puts the icing on the cake. Let's go look at some of the fun stuff. Here you see some amazing concept work. We've got swarm bore, cerebral bore launcher, pulse rifle designs, original minigun design. On this wall over here you'll see early rocket launcher design, shotgun design. I mean, look at the detail in these sketches. It's really amazing to see how much passion the guys put into doing, creating the details in this sort of game. All right, so we've looked at the guns. What's the next thing that people think about when they think about a Turok game? That's obviously dinosaurs. You've got everything from velociraptors to the lesser-known Utah raptor, woolly rhinoceros, stegosaurus. You've got T-Rex over here, styracosaurs. You've got ankylosaurs over here. It's very Turok. It's all about the details. It's all about the diversity. It's all about, seeing these creatures doing things that you could never imagine them actually doing. And if you look around here, you'll see some of the indigenous life we've got in the game, and this is just a small taste. Warthogs, prehistoric rhinos, saber-toothed cats, little gazelle here, amazingly lifelike in the game. Large birds, small birds, parrots, frogs, snapping turtles. There's so much life in this game. I mean, it's just incredible. You really believe that you're in a real world when you step into Turok Evolution. Come on, guys. All right, so you've had the idea for the game, you've had all your meetings, you've talked about the ideas. The next thing that has to happen is that while we're finalizing elements of the design, the artists have to begin interpreting every idea we have for the game into a visual reference. See, our lead artist here hard at work on another sketch for the game, and it's his job to actually make sure that the entire art team has the same vision for the game and delivers consistency and quality that lives up to his standards. The art team works for 2.5 years on a project like this to deliver an amazing amount of work that all pushes the envelope of what people have seen on any video game ever and makes this the best Turok game we've ever done. We're going to go see how two-dimensional images get made into three-dimensional artwork that can be used in the game. You with me so far? How about you guys? All right then, let's go. This is Ray. How's it going, Ray? Ray's one of our artists on the project. He's working on one of the weapons for the game. Ray translates that into a two-dimensional design, and you can see that right here. He's got notes about how the thing moves, and he's got different views of the weapon. He can translate that into 3 dimensions and produce the actual final game art. So as you can see, the final product is amazing, and when you play the game, you'll learn to appreciate the amount of thought and effort and talent that goes into creating this art. Art, technology, ideas, everything that goes into making a game sounds pretty complicated, doesn't it? Well, it gets worse. Follow me. Steven here, one of our designers on the project, is actually assembling the final version of how the game plays. It's his responsibility to go through the entire game map and make sure that every square foot of this the player has fun in. And every one of these colored lines that cuts through the environment is information that makes the game actually function properly. It activates enemies, it activates objects in the environment, it calls special effects. He sets the pickups in here. He creates the content that you enjoy when you play these games. I mean, it's an amazingly deep process. If you think this map looks complicated, there's 66 more of them in this game. That's how big this game is, and that's how much work it is for everybody to get it to its final state.
Oh, watch commanders, briefing at 0600.
So the game looks great. The game plays great. What's it sound like? That's the final layer of icing on the cake. We've got to make sure that the entire experience is perfect. And believe me, when it comes to Turok Evolution, you're going to want to hear this. This is Andy. Andy's one of the men responsible for the sound effects you're going to hear in the game. And as you'll probably find out when you play the game, he's a little bit obsessed with detail. We've got every kind of shell you could possibly imagine. You got your mortar shells, you got your 20mm shells, you got your big shells, you got your shotgun shells, you got your hand grenades, you got your big chains full of things over here. You got your little chains full of things, which are kind of cute, not quite as impressive as the other ones. And you got a whole bunch of this stuff. Animals, weapons, footsteps, anything that you hear in the game, this man creates from his noggin and from a lot of props like this. There you go, Turok Evolution. How to make something really complicated look really simple. But you know, a game like Turok Evolution is only made possible through the efforts of 35 amazingly talented and very dedicated people who have worked 16, 18, sometimes 20 hours a day for 2.5 years to get this game to the game players of the world. We know you're going to enjoy it, but I gotta warn you, this is not for the faint-hearted. Hey guys, come on in. Welcome to Texas. Well, here we are in my humble abode. We're going to go to the firing range, do a little target practice, and then we're going to do a little hunting later. So I hope you guys are ready.
God, Dave, when did the war start?
Well, some of these things are obviously just for fun, a little bit of target practice down at the range, but obviously you've got to have the right equipment for a hunting trip, so I've got my hunting rifle out here as well.
What else you got there? So what's that monster?
This is a Colt Python 357 Magnum, and this is a Kimber Gold Match 45.
So what would you hunt with a 357 Magnum? People.
That might work, but no, this is just something I take down to the firing range for a little bit of target practice every now and then.
So would it be fair to say that you're reasonably fond of your guns?
I grew up with guns, you know. I grew up hunting and fishing with my dad and my grandpa, and yeah, I'd say that was accurate.
And what you got on the what you got down the side there on your right?
This is my handy 12 gauge. That's actually my turkey hunting gun for when I decide I need a Thanksgiving turkey.
So how important are guns in Turok? I mean, how important was knowing all this stuff about guns for sort of coming to plan it all for Turok?
Well, anybody that's ever played Turok knows guns are guns are Turok. You know, Turok's always been about the firepower, and you know, the nice thing about a Turok game is, you know, while we have a certain amount of, you know, freedom to, you know, go down the firing range, take a hunting trip, whatever, it's not like we get to pick up an 18-barrel 20mm Gatling gun and go down to the range or go out hunting. So, well, obviously, you know, the shotgun that's in the game is kind of a futuristic style shotgun, but at its heart, it's all 12 gauge, and you know, no matter what anybody says, no matter whether you've used a gun in your life or not, everybody knows this sound. I mean, that's the sound of firepower. This is my favorite rifle. This is my Winchester 270. I've had this since I was 16 years old, and you'll see it's got this marvelous telescopic sight on it. That's just amazing for, you know, long-range targeting. And in Turok, we have two guns that have, you know, telescopic sights. Your pistol can upgrade to a telescopic sight, but we've also got this great sight on the tech bow. It's your ultimate stealth killing weapon. It makes no noise, it doesn't make any sound that the enemies will key on, but it can also fire a variety of different kinds of ammunition. So we've got, you know, your regular arrows, which obviously hurt. We've got poison arrows, which when they strike a bad guy, the poison will take effect and he'll start to stagger around and kind of, oh, I don't feel so well. And the next thing you know, he'll drop to his knees and start vomiting his lunch all over the ground before he knots up and dies. Which is just fantastic in a video game. Wait till you see what the swarm bore that we came up with for Turok Evolution does. It starts drilling inward and spraying all the good gooey bits kind of out in this arcing fountain of goo. And then the head will just explode. And then you're left with just this little gooey, quivering pile of trunk meat. So yeah, it's slightly insane, you know. Not that I have a problem of any sort. Even in Texas, you can't buy a variable payload, you know, missile launcher. And then obviously in its final stage, the rocket launcher unfolds to reveal a small tactical thermonuclear launcher, which is amazing. It makes a 500-foot mushroom cloud in the game, and it will just incinerate any bad guy within view. Fantastic stuff. Well, one of the greatest things about Turok is that, obviously the weapons are dangerous, but they're dangerous in more than one way. If I aim at something like a palm tree in the game, I can actually cause it to fall down and crush enemies. I mean, that's pretty amazing stuff. We've also got this great remote device that the player throws onto the ground and unfolds in this big mechanical spider, and the player is able to control it by remote. And this thing will actually creep through the environment and they can sneak it up on enemies and cause an explosion, or they can release a cloud of poisonous gas, or they can even cause it to make a chirp that will lure enemies towards it. Well, my 12 gauge here is obviously my bird gun. And in Turok, speaking of birds, we actually have the ability for the first time in Turok Evolution to fly on the back of the winged dinosaur. Our winged dinosaur, of course, is something special. It's something that we've wanted for years, and it finally gets into Turok Evolution, and we're really excited about it. All right, well, anyway, as they say in Texas, talk is cheap. You guys ready to go down on the range? Let's go have some fun. Morning, guys. Now we're at the range. Do a little shooting. Let's go see if I still know how to shoot one of these things. Can I get that 12 gauge pump?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Okay, we're ready.
What are you opening up here, Dave?
This is my my Kimber 45 cal. Now, ordinarily, I would prefer to be shooting at dinosaur targets, but since they didn't have any dinosaur targets here, we got to use what they got. I just had a very good idea. Follow me on this one. I think we want to shoot the, was that an AR-15? Mm-hmm. We'll shoot that.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
On safe.
Yep.
Firmly into your shoulder. Mm-hmm. Look at the little hole at the top of the post in the center of that little hole.
Yep.
As soon as you're ready with your thumb, one click up, it's on fire.
Okay.
Okay. Bang, 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 bang until the magazine is empty. Bolt pulls open with the last shot, just like such.
Okay.
Put it back on safe. Release the magazine and refill.
All right, no problem.
Need some ammo?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
So here we are with our AR-15, and this is my first time shooting one of these. This is going to be fun.
That looks like the sort of thing that maybe could kill a dinosaur.
Well, I'd prefer, quite honestly, a little larger caliber if I was hunting dinosaur. Satisfying.
Is this what we're going to be going hunting with later on today?
That's exactly the one we're going to be hunting with later on today.
It's a big boy.
Not too shabby. Get ready. Let's go hunting.
So how similar are Turok and the experience of real hunting?
Well, apart from the velociraptors, the tyrannosaurs, the brachiosaurs with cannons on their head, and the existence of things like swarm boars, that's pretty similar, actually. I think everybody's born with a hunting instinct. I think that most people lose it, but I think it's ingrained into everyone. And for me, hunting is a way of kind of getting back in touch with that part of us. I mean, this is what it's all about. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You got the insects going, you got the plants and trees. There's nothing around you. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get more in tune with the environment that you're a part of. And in the game, we try to do the exact same thing. That's why we paid so much attention to the fact that we were, trying to create these living environments. And it's really important for you to pay attention to those little details. I mean, it matters when you're hunting, and it matters even more when you're in the game, obviously, because Turok is an action game. Turok has as many things out to hunt you as there are for you to hunt. So it's really important that you pay attention to these sorts of details in the game. The motion of a plant, everything about it is pretty cool. We made that stuff in the game specifically so that it would give the player more sensory, overload and more things to react to. I love being outside like this. I mean, I've been hunting my entire life. Nebraska, Canada, I've been to Alaska. It's just a great feeling being out here like this. If you look around, you'll see so much of what's actually in Turok. You see all the movement, all the secondary stuff, all the plant life, is living around you. And the great thing about being outdoors and being hunting is you never know what you're going to find. And that's the kind of feeling we wanted to create with parts of Turok. Saw a couple of deer run off into those trees up there. It's 2 does. So I know there's deer around. I'm just going to cover my face up because it's easy for them to spot your face when you're moving. I'm just going to sit down here for a while because I've already seen 2 deer running ahead of me. And that means they heard me coming. So I'm going to sit down here because I know it's very likely it's getting towards evening time. They're going to come back this way. Look, guys, I know you're getting sick of sitting here. This is what it's all about. Sometimes hunting's just about being patient. Stick with me. We're going to be about 30 more minutes. I know we're going to get something out here. I'm just as tired as you guys are. About you guys, but I think I've had enough. Listen, it's not always about getting what you're after, but at least when you play Turok Evolution, there's never a dull moment. I need a hot shower and a cold drink. Ah!
blood.